Ash-colored stories once painted this land as desolate, a horizon without pulse, a silence mistaken for emptiness. But then the world tilts open on the Uyuni Salt Flats, an endless white plain where sky and earth merge into one living mirror. Here, the echo of the past glides across crystallized ground once shaped by ancient lakes, nature rewriting what history left behind. Midday light shimmers like drifting glass. Footsteps ripple across a mirrored sky. Distant trucks slide as if floating between clouds. You hear the soft crunch beneath your boots, feel the dry wind brushing salt against your skin, the echo of the past vibrating quietly under each step. And in this boundless reflection, you realize the land remembers more than we ever see. Bolivia, the mirror that endures. Laguna Verde, a lake like a polished emerald. Laguna Verde captures the fragile beauty that flourishes where extremes collide. Lying at the foot of the mighty Lecancabur volcano in Bolivia's Eduardo Avaroa Reserve, its crystalline surface shimmers in hues of jade and turquoise, reflecting skies brushed by salt-laden winds and flanked by flame-red mountains. This magical color arises from minerals, especially high concentrations of copper in the water, which sits at an altitude exceeding 14,000 feet, or more than 4,200 meters above sea level. A landscape that defies easy habitation, yet has fascinated scientists and travelers for decades. Standing here, surrounded by silence, broken only by the cries of distant birds, you feel both dwarfed and uplifted by nature's creative force. Here, elemental stillness coexists with continual transformation, as sunlight and minerals remake the canvas each hour. In this meeting of land and sky, one is reminded how the planet's wildest places whisper quietly about the resilience and impermanence of all living things. Lake Titicaca, a mirror of ancient wonder, Lake Titicaca holds both legend and stillness at the roof of South America. Along the wind-swept shores near Copacabana in Bolivia, deep blue waters stretch farther than the eye can reach, ringed by golden reeds and the silhouettes of snow-capped peaks, each reflected in the glassy expanse. More than 12,500 feet above sea level, or nearly 3,800 meters, this lake has been sacred to the Andean peoples for millennia, believed to be the birthplace of the sun itself by the Inca. Standing at the edge, there is a hush, a sense of time folding in, as if every ripple carries echoes of distant rituals and forgotten dreams. Light and shadow trade places swiftly here, revealing both the calm and the mystery that have always drawn pilgrims, travelers, and storytellers alike. In the thin air, high above the world, Lake Titicaca remains a quiet invitation to ponder what legacies are truly timeless. Isla Incahuasi, rising like a lonely mirage at the heart of the world's largest salt flat. This stony island embodies resilience amid vastness. Sunlight glimmers on the crystalline crust of Salar de Uyuni in southwest Bolivia, while giant cacti pierce the sky, some stretching over 30 feet, or about 9 meters, their shadows rippling across the barren white desert. Centuries ago, Incahuasi was once submerged beneath a prehistoric lake. Now, its ancient coral formations stand as silent testimony to landscapes long vanished, hinting at a geological story millions of years old. Here, among silent cacti and endless salt horizons, visitors feel both impossibly small and strangely connected to something eternal. The island's volcanic rock roots ground it, yet the endless salt flats dissolve all sense of boundary, solitude and infinity folded together. In places like this, nature's extremes gently invite us to wonder what remains and what shifts in a world always in motion. Jesuit missions of Chiquitos. Built in the heart of eastern Bolivia, These mission towns remind us of the quiet harmony once sought between two worlds. Nestled amid wide savannas and towering palm trees in the Santa Cruz region, each church rises from red earth, its carved wooden arches and painted walls glowing gently in the afternoon light. Founded in the late 17th and 18th centuries, the missions were centers where Jesuit priests and indigenous Chicatano people shaped a unique fusion of European Baroque and local traditions, an experiment in faith, art, and coexistence that would endure for nearly 150 years. Walking these serene plazas, you sense a lingering spirit of resilience and creativity woven into every hand-painted detail. Here, echoes of sacred song and ancestral ritual share the same air, an enduring dialogue of blending and difference. The stories carried by these wooden walls drift outward, hinting at how far the human desire for connection and understanding can travel. Potosi, a city forged in the shadow of silver, Potosi is a testament to ambition and endurance. High in the Andean plateau of Bolivia, winding alleys cling to slopes beneath the cold blue sky, while the massive Cerro Rico mountain looms, its red slopes etched with the scars of centuries-old mining. Founded in the middle of the 16th century, after rich veins of silver were discovered, this city once fueled the wealth of empires, its mines reaching depths of more than 1,600 feet, or about 500 meters, beneath the earth. Walking past colonial facades faded by time, there is a palpable heaviness, echoes of hope, desperation, and loss lingering in the thin air. Potosi's opulent churches stand in stark contrast to the harshness endured by generations of miners, reflecting a city shaped by both glory and hardship. Here, stories of fortune and suffering entwine, quietly reminding us how the promise of riches can transform landscapes, lives, and even the course of history. Valle de la Luna, a landscape sculpted by time and elemental patience. Valle de la Luna reveals the profound artistry of erosion at the edge of La Paz, Bolivia. Spires of pale clay rise like an otherworldly forest, casting fractured shadows across silent canyons under the high-altitude sun, with air so thin it shimmers above the Earth's chalky bones. Formed over millennia, as wind and rain carved away softer soil, these formations stand where ancient rivers once ran, their colors shifting subtly from ochre to cream as the light changes, a remnant of Bolivia's tumultuous geological past. To stand here is to feel small amid nature's quiet persistence, humbled by the slow rhythms that sculpt worlds beyond human lifetimes. This place is both desolate and beautiful, a maze barren of vegetation, yet alive with subtle motion and stillness. Valle de la Luna reminds us that beneath the surface of any land, invisible forces are always at work, shaping destinies in silence and in time. Death Road. Along the precarious ribbon known as Death Road, travelers trace a path between fragility and resilience. The sheer slopes of the youngest mountains fall away dramatically beneath the narrow track, mist weaving through lush green cliffs just outside La Paz, Bolivia, while clouds drift so close you can almost reach out to touch them. Built in the 1930s by Paraguayan prisoners, this road once claimed hundreds of lives each year, with cliffs dropping over 1,800 feet, or about 550 meters, to the jungle below. Yet there is a quiet courage to stepping out into a space where every curve reminds you how thin the line is between fear and awe. The road is both a scar of tragedy and a place of breathtaking beauty, its dangers cradled beside the hope of safe passage. Here, as in so many corners of the world, risk and wonder travel side by side, forever inviting us to respect the landscape and our own limits. Oruro Carnival. At the heart of Bolivia, the Oruro Carnival stands as a vibrant fusion of spiritual devotion and artistic celebration. Dancers in shimmering sequins weave through Oruro's high-altitude streets, their footsteps echoing along alleys fringed by adobe walls and distant Andean slopes, while the thin mountain air carries the scent of incense and distant thunder of brass bands. For centuries, this festival has unfolded as a UNESCO-recognized masterpiece of humanity, tracing its roots to indigenous rituals and evolving through Spanish colonial times, a living tapestry that bridges pre-Columbian Andean traditions with Catholic beliefs. Watching the radiant Diablada masks twist and flicker beneath the high Bolivian sun, a sense of awe grows, mingled with the awareness that joy and struggle are tightly interlaced here. By day, bright processions pulse with unrestrained energy, yet by night, quiet prayers and whispered legends remind visitors of the world's enduring contrasts, of faith tested and hope renewed. Oruro's carnival is more than a spectacle. It invites us to wonder how culture both shields and reveals the soul of a community, hinting at the shared rhythms that ripple far beyond these mountains. Isla del Sol, a cradle of Incan legend, this island whispers the origins of civilizations and the quiet persistence of time. Misty sunlight glimmers across ancient terraces and whitewashed adobe houses, set against the deep sapphire expanse of Lake Titicaca in Bolivia, a place where sky and water flow together in endless dialogue. Archaeologists believe these rocky shores sheltered people long before the Incas, but it was the Inca who revered the island as the birthplace of their sun god, marking it with sacred sites like the Chincana labyrinth that still puzzles wanderers today. Walking these stone paths, you may feel the gentle humility of history as past and present drift on the same cool breeze. Here, harsh highland winds and delicate morning silences meet, echoing both resilience and serenity at over 12,500 feet, or almost 3,800 meters above sea level. In a world searching for its roots and refuge, Isla del Sol stands as a quiet reminder that every journey is woven through with myth and memory. Tiwanaku, here on the windswept Altiplano, Tiwanaku stands as a testament to an ancient civilization's ingenuity and endurance. Sunbeams glare off the weathered sandstone monoliths and enigmatic gateways, their carved faces gazing out toward the snowy Andean peaks of western Bolivia. Once the heart of a vibrant city that thrived for over 6 centuries, Tiwanaku's builders shaped massive blocks, some weighing more than 130 tons, or nearly 118 metric tons, moved here without the aid of wheeled vehicles. Walking along the silent plazas, there is a sense of both proud achievement and mystery. Questions echo among the stones, where festivals and ceremonies once drew thousands. The calm emptiness contrasts sharply with the site's lively past, where cosmopolitan trade met spiritual innovation. In Tiwanaku's quiet persistence, we witness the fragile connection between what is endured, what is lost, and what still shapes the highland spirit today. Madidi National Park. A living mosaic of biodiversity, Madidi stands as a sanctuary where nature's ancient rhythms still orchestrate life in the Amazon basin. Emerald canopies stretch toward the Bolivian sky above the rumbling currents of the Rio Tuichi, while the humidity carries the rich scent of damp earth and the haunting calls of distant howler monkeys. Established in 1995, this protected region covers more than 7,000 square miles, or roughly 18,000 square kilometers, sheltering over 1,000 animal species and an untold array of plants, some yet to be named by science. Here, standing among towering ceiba trees and trailing vines, there's a palpable sense of nature's endurance and our own smallness within it. In the unfolding tapestry of Madidi, we are reminded of Earth's delicate network and the questions it asks of anyone willing to listen. Noel Kempf, Mercado National Park. At the edge of the Bolivian Amazon, this park is a living tapestry where raw wilderness reveals the enduring power of untouched nature. Emerald forests cloak the rolling mesas and wide savannas of Santa Cruz, while the gentle thunder of Arco Iris Falls sends cool mist curling through sunlight, painting rainbows atop red earth and deep green canopy. Designated a UNESCO World Heritage Site, the park covers more than 5,200 square miles, or about 13,500 square kilometers, and was named after the pioneering Bolivian scientist whose exploration here inspired global conservation. Broken silence gives way to birdsong, hinting at both isolation and connectedness, a place that humbles with its scale, yet comforts with its quiet. In daylight, fierce heat meets the chill shadows beneath ancient mahogany, a constant dance between life's extremes. It's a reminder that there are still corners of the planet where wilderness writes its own story, waiting for anyone willing to listen. Cerro Rico Mine, a mountain that once promised boundless silver, Cerro Rico rises above the high-altitude city of Potosi as a symbol of both hope and hardship. Sunlight glances off scarred red slopes and dust swirls on the wind, carrying whispers of Bolivia's colonial past through labyrinthine tunnels that burrow deep within this peak. First discovered in the 16th century, its veins fueled the Spanish Empire, producing more than 45,000 tons, or over 41,000 metric tons, of silver and transforming Potosi into one of the richest cities on Earth. Yet beneath the brilliance lies a shadow. Each ounce was won by the hands and sacrifice of countless miners, their stories etched into the trembling rock. Cerro Rico embodies both immense wealth and human cost, its majestic summit forever entwined with lives lost in dark corridors below. Here, history lingers, reminding us how ambition and suffering are often two sides of the same silver coin, echoing still in places where Earth's treasures are measured not just in metal, but in memory. Ambaró National Park. A living intersection of worlds, this sanctuary reveals how nature crafts its greatest wonders, where diverse realms touch. At the meeting point of the Andes and the Amazon near Santa Cruz, Bolivia, Ambaró unfurls emerald canopies, mist-draped ridges, and tumbling waterfalls, each painting the air with the scent of rain and moss. Scarlet macaws flash between ancient trees, while fleeting shadows hint at hidden wildlife. The park protects nearly 3,500 square miles, or over 9,000 square kilometers, sheltering more than 900 bird species and echoing the secrets of prehistoric ferns whose ancestors watched dinosaurs pass. Wandering here, a quiet awe settles in. The sense of stepping into a place where humanity feels small, folded into a tapestry older than memory itself. Yet in this harmony lies tension, as delicate ecosystems walk the line between flourishing and vulnerability, ever responsive to the patterns of rain and the presence of people. In places like Amboro, the world's enduring wildness reminds us that preservation is both privilege and responsibility, inviting reflection on what we choose to guard for those who follow. El Fuerte de Samaipata. At the edge of the Bolivian lowlands, this ancient stone fortress holds a silent dialogue between earth and sky, a place where cultures intertwined and spiritual meaning runs deep. Carved into a red sandstone ridge above Samaipata, Bolivia, the site dazzles with sweeping views, jagged mountains in the distance, clouds casting slow-moving shadows over a single monolithic rock more than 700 feet long, or about 200 meters. Archaeologists believe El Fuerte was both a ceremonial center and a strategic outpost, first shaped by the Shane people over 15 centuries ago, then layered with Inca and Spanish presence as empires came and went. Standing here, you feel the weight of past civilizations and wonder at the resilience woven into every groove and petroglyph. There is a gentle contradiction, solitude among ruins, yet the sense of ancient voices echoing in the wind. In spaces such as these, human ambition and nature's patience meet, reminding us of cultures rising, fading, and the deep marks we leave behind. Toro National Park, a hidden valley where ancient Earth remembers both darkness and light. Rugged canyons ripple across the high plains of the Potosi region in Bolivia, sculpted by wind and water into red stone arches and caves that frame the sky with shifting shadows. Here, fossilized dinosaur footprints cross a landscape that was once a primordial floodplain, and the park's famous Imagellanta Cave descends more than 250 feet, or about 76 meters, into a world untouched by sunlight, sheltering blind fish and delicate stalactites. Wandering these remote trails, you sense time folding in layers, the impossibly old pressed up against the fleeting now. Above ground, tawny grasslands blur into wilderness, yet below, a hidden realm persists, both exposed and sheltered. In Toro, each stone and shadow suggests the world is far more ancient and more unknown than imagination alone can reach. Witch's Market. At the heart of every bustling marketplace lies a hidden story, but here, mystery and tradition intertwine with daily life. Candlelit stalls glow beneath the high-altitude sky of La Paz, Bolivia, where dried herbs, colorful amulets, and curious relics spill from baskets onto narrow cobblestone lanes, the faint aroma of incense mingling with the sharp chill of Andean air. For centuries, the Aymara people have shaped these rituals, using offerings called sulu, dried llama fetuses or small effigies, as gifts to Pachamama, the Earth Mother, a practice that predates even the Spanish conquest. Wandering these aisles, there's a sense of reverence for worlds that exist both seen and unseen, for hopes and fears tangled in every talisman. Here, ancient faith moves beside mobile phones and laughter, an uneasy blend where survival meets the supernatural. Perhaps, in this vibrant nexus of belief and commerce, the true magic is how centuries-old traditions find a way to persist in the ever-changing modern world. Chacaltaya Peak, high above the clouds, this Andean summit stands as a quiet testament to the power and fragility of nature. Bathed in a sharp, crystalline light, the crags of Chacaltaya overlook the sprawling city of La Paz, Bolivia, while thin air tugs at breath and distant glaciers shimmer along the horizon. Once home to the world's highest ski resort, reaching over 17,000 feet, or about 5,200 meters, Chacaltaya's glacier has largely vanished in recent decades, its ice lost to rising global temperatures. Here, visitors are left to stand on ancient stone and consider the silent retreat of a frozen world once central to local identity and cherished memories. In this place, the exhilaration of altitude meets the sobering passage of time, a spectacle of beauty paired with a sense of absence. Every breeze here seems to carry a question about what it means to witness change, inviting us to listen and to wonder beyond the edge of the melting ice. Huayna Potosi. To stand before Huayna Potosi is to witness the patient grandeur of the Andes, where mountain and sky meet in an unspoken act of endurance and hope. Its icy summit rises just above the busy heart of La Paz, Bolivia, the glinting snowfields stretching over towering ridgelines as morning clouds drift between the rugged slopes and the towns far below. First summited in the early 20th century, the mountain soars more than 19,600 feet, or nearly 6,000 meters, and has drawn climbers from every continent, each seeking to test their strength against the ancient backbone of the Cordillera Real. Yet beneath these frozen heights, a quiet resolve flows, a reminder that progress here is not measured by swiftness, but by perseverance and respect for nature's calm immensity. Harsh winds and glacial light challenge the human spirit, yet every visitor finds both vulnerability and awe at this silent edge between earth and sky. Mountains like Huayna Potosi invite us to reflect not only on our place in nature, but on the timeless ties that connect distant peoples to the wild, enduring heart of the world. Sajama National Park, a realm where ancient volcanoes rise as silent witnesses to time. Sajama's vastness reveals nature's enduring spirit. In the high reaches of the Oruro department in western Bolivia, winds weave through fields of golden ichu grass and twisted quinua trees, with the snowy peak of Nevado Sajama towering more than 21,000 feet, or about 6,500 meters above shimmering Altiplano lakes. This park, established as Bolivia's first national sanctuary in 1939, shelters not only rare vicuñas and flamingos, but centuries-old cave paintings made by indigenous Aymara people. Standing beneath the immense sky, you feel both humbled and connected, a quiet reminder of the ancient bonds between humans and wild landscapes. Sajama invites us to reflect on the fragile beauty of untouched places and the ways in which the past still shapes our sense of wonder. Siloli Desert. In this vast expanse, sometimes called the Desert of Deserts, silence becomes the landscape's most powerful signature. Swaths of ochre and gold ripple under a piercing blue sky, while wind-carved rock formations like the Surreal Árbol de Piedra rise from the sand near the border of Bolivia's Eduardo Avaroa Reserve. Formed high in the Andes at over 15,000 feet, or more than 4,500 meters above sea level, the Sololi's dramatic terrain has tested travelers for centuries and once served as part of ancient trade routes connecting distant Andean civilizations. Standing amid this loneliness, there's a sense of both awe and humility, as if each stone and shadow holds the memory of travelers who came before. Though the land seems harsh and empty, delicate life still endures, revealing an unlikely resilience against the emptiness. Here, silence and survival invite us to consider the balance between isolation and endurance in the wider world. Rurenabake, Amazon Gateway, a gentle threshold between the known and the wild. This riverside town is where journeyers first touch the untamed heart of the Bolivian Amazon. Mist rises softly over the Beni River as vibrant boats drift past stilted wooden homes, all cradled by emerald rainforests that press in on the quiet streets of Rurenabaque in northern Bolivia. Once a sleepy trading post, Rurenabaque transformed in the late 20th century into a hub for ecotourism. Its river port, guiding visitors into Madidi National Park, one of the most biologically diverse reserves on Earth, stretching across more than 7,000 square miles, or about 18,000 square kilometers. Here, anticipation mingles with respect as travelers sense how closely human life and the pulsing rhythm of the jungle intertwine. There is a fragile balance, gentle modern comforts beside ancient, impenetrable forest, civilization humming at the edge of an immense mystery. From this gateway, the river draws each visitor onward into a deeper story of nature's endurance and humanity's humble curiosity. Uyuni Train Cemetery, a silent testament to dreams both forged and abandoned at the edge of civilization. Strewn across the sun-bleached salt plains near Uyuni, Bolivia, rusting steel giants lie exposed, their hollow carriages and weathered locomotive bodies catching the golden light, an endless sky in a world that feels both desolate and strangely alive. In the early 20th century, these trains once linked the Bolivian highlands to the Pacific coast, hauling minerals and hope across hundreds of miles, more than 500 kilometers, before the mining industry collapsed, leaving locomotives to become relics of ambition halted in its tracks. Standing among the corroded wheels and broken windows, one feels both the weight of history and the quiet dignity of decay, as if time itself takes a softer breath here. There is a tension between movement and stillness. Engines built to cross continents, now watching the slow passage of wind and cloud. Copacabana Basilica, faith and tradition converge in this lakeside sanctuary where centuries of devotion have shaped the rhythms of life. Sunlight glimmers on tiled domes and whitewashed walls set against the vivid blue of Lake Titicaca and the quiet bustle of Copacabana town in Bolivia. Built in the late 16th century, this church became a central pilgrimage site after the arrival of the revered Virgin de Copacabana, whose presence transformed a humble Andean chapel into a destination drawing visitors from across the continent, and whose statue's coronation in the early 20th century echoed far beyond these mountains. Stepping into its cool, shadowed interior, visitors sense both reverence and hope, the weight and comfort of belief layered over generations. Outside, the quiet dignity of the basilica contrasts with the lively energy of street vendors and pilgrims who gather at its stones, reminding us that sacredness and daily life quietly intertwine here. Sucre. Known as the White City, Sucre radiates a quiet dignity as the birthplace of Bolivia's independence and a living symbol of cultural identity. Cobblestone streets wind gently between gleaming colonial facades in the heart of Sucre, where sunlight drapes over ornate balconies and the Andes rise softly beyond. Founded in the 16th century by the Spanish, this city became the nation's constitutional capital and the site where Bolivia declared its sovereignty in 1825, echoing with the weight of more than 500 years of layered history. Here, each whitewashed wall seems to hold a memory, blending the proud resilience of the past with the everyday lives bustling quietly below. Grand cathedrals stand beside vibrant markets, Spanish Baroque and indigenous heritage intertwined in an ever-evolving mosaic. In Sucre, the spirit of revolution and preservation coexists, reminding us that identity is both shelter and horizon in the unfolding story of any nation. My Teleférico cable car. Innovation glides above the ancient heart of the Andes, weaving communities together in a city defined by dizzying altitude and sweeping vistas. Suspended high over La Paz, Bolivia, each gondola offers a kaleidoscope view. Red rooftops cascade down steep slopes, snow-dusted peaks pierce the horizon, and tangled markets buzz far below. Opened in 2014, this cable car system revolutionized urban transport by spanning more than 19 miles, or about 31 kilometers, becoming the world's highest and longest of its kind as it links neighborhoods once separated by sprawling chasms and daunting climbs. Drifting above the city's vibrant chaos, there's a sense of gentle awe, as if riding a silent line between past complexity and future hope. Here, progress and tradition coexist, elevating daily life, yet revealing how distance remains a challenge even as cables pull La Paz's people closer. From the sky, we witness the threads that bind a city and perhaps glimpse how connectivity transforms not just places, but the very pace and spirit of our journeys. Salar de Uyuni, an endless mirror of salt and sky, this ancient basin quietly redefines what it means to feel vastness and wonder. At sunrise, a shimmering silver carpet stretches beyond the horizon, near the rural town of Uyuni, Bolivia, where crystal patterns fracture the earth and clouds seem to float beneath your feet. Formed from prehistoric lakes evaporating over thousands of years, this plateau now covers more than 4,300 square miles, or nearly 11,000 square kilometers, making it the largest salt flat on Earth and a silent witness to the continent's shifting past. Standing here, you sense a gentle quietude, but also a heightening of awareness as the mind tries to grasp the beauty and magnitude all at once. While Uyuni's salt flats dazzle with illusion and openness by day, they remind us of fragility each night, when starlight dances over a land both harsh and essential. In places like this, nature dares us to contemplate our place amid the world's slowest transformations.